Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Benelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leia Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a bolder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone tuned in to TAB Radio and to Greyhound Gossip this morning. And a very good morning, of course, to you, Peter O'Neill.
Oh, she's back. Leia Ernest is back on the wireless, everyone. Good morning, Leia. Good to have you back. Hope you're feeling a lot better. Looking forward to what is going to be a big week in greyhound racing.
Yes, it's huge. We've actually got the slots. Well, hopefully they're going to be announced shortly for the Sandgroper as well, Pete.
Yeah, so they closed the slots, closed last week, and looking forward to the announcement of who the slot holders will be, and we'll be able to promote that. Obviously a fair way off, but it'll be important to find out who the slot holders are, and then the countdown will be over the next few months on what greyhounds will be representing those slots. So it is exciting. $500,000 race to be conducted in Perth next April, and of course with the Western Trilogy of the Quokka and also the Nullarbor for the thoroughbreds and harness. So it's going to be a big week that week in April for WA racing, pacing and chasing.
Well, it's going to be a big week this week as well, Pete. Of course, we've got the Melbourne Cup tomorrow, which then affects racing. We've got an early start at Mandurah, and because of the Canning Show on Saturday, we've got an early start at Cannington as well.
Yeah, so the Canning Show early start on Saturday. I'm not sure what time the first is. It'll be around about 4 o'clock, I presume. The last race just after 7, so the fireworks can take place. The greyhounds can leave the track and the fireworks will take place. It's always a big meeting. And yes, as you mentioned, with it being Melbourne Cup Day tomorrow, a big crowd down at Mandurah in the restaurant, and there'll be an early start to greyhound racing there as well. And if you're looking at greyhound racing today to try and make a little bit of a bank for tomorrow's Melbourne Cup, of course, we've got Northern 12-race program getting underway at 1 o'clock today. And later on tonight, it's always on Melbourne Cup Eve, a big program at the Meadows with heats of the Hume Cup. We'll talk with Jason Lincoln a little bit later on. And also the Silver Bullet's a very good race with Amron Boy, last start winner, one of the favourites in that race. But we'll talk to Jason about that as we go along. Big program on Saturday night at Cannington. We had some very, very smart winners, including the last winner, which was over the 380 metres. Who Told Spider for Corey White went within a length of the track record of Frida Manelli. So a brilliant win in 21.51, won by 5 lengths. And there was also some other very good winners on the program, including Hurricane Taylor, who returned to the winners list in quick time as well. Big night on Friday night, though, Leia, while you're away, and that was the running of the Nambilup Cup, formerly known as the Sandgroper. There have been some very, very good winners of this race over the years, including winging it last year and Sleepy George earlier in that year with 2 runnings of the race last year. But what a race it was, and what a win it was by the Colleen Pearson trained Firecloud, who has done a wonderful job in returning to peak fitness, winning the heat impressively from an inside draw, and had to overcome box number 6 there on Friday night, and he was too good. And speaking of Firecloud, one of his part owners is the son of Colleen, and that is Simon Marsaglia, who's about to join us. Simon, good morning and congratulations on what was a really good win there on Friday.
Morning, Pete. Thanks. Yeah, it was very good, and we're very pleased. It was a long time coming for Fire Club. We know he's always had the ability to win a feature, and it was probably just a rung below the best. I think with the vice scripts and momentums, he's always been probably in their shadows. But yeah, that was nice to win one.
We're starting to return to peak fitness, as I mentioned. He was off the scene for a little while, and I remember you telling us that your mum had to swim him a lot to try and get that fitness back, going back some time now. But he seems to be really hitting his straps, and with that early speed, it puts him in these races, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're finding just the 500 is probably just on his limit against the real top liners. So we thought if we drop back to Mandurah, the 490 probably suits him a bit better. And yeah, he seems to find the line a bit better. I mean, he's still, if he heads down there, probably find someone like an Amplified, probably still get over the top of him. But yeah, it's nice to maybe change it up, and now he's getting to peak fitness, and it's good to see him actually, finally break through. He's had about 10 or 12 runs without a win, so it was nice.
Well, he's won close to, I think, $70,000 now, plus the WA bred bonuses. So he's been such a wonderful performer for your kennel. How do you celebrate after that, and what are the plans for him going forward?
Well, so Friday night because I guess this is our first dog that we've had that's really had the sort of ability that he's got. So we celebrated a little bit like you would have Perth Cup. We were pretty pleased, but I was more pleased for Mum, just the amount of work and effort that goes in every day, and it's a 7-day-a-week job, and it's relentless. And she's had to uproot her life and move to the Southern River after a bit of a debacle up in York. So I'm just sort of super proud for her, really, mate. To be completely honest. And plans going forward. I've had a few people ask us about maybe sending him to Hobart Thousands just for. He's got that early speed. He'd probably match it early with the real top liners, and the 450, 460, I think it is around that, would probably be perfect for him. It'd be right up his alley. So that might be an option. Otherwise, we're still tossing up this week whether we go back to Cannington, where we might miss a couple of the real good dogs who probably step up to 600, and then you got the heats of the young stars too. So we're just trying to work out whether we go back down to Mandurah or head to Cannington. So couple of options there to think about, but just super proud at the moment. So,
well, Simon, he's been a fine greyhound for you, as you mentioned, and he's in fine form. He clocked a new PB in the Cup over the weekend. I think it was 27.46, and he's been quite successful at Cannington among some of our top WA dogs. Am I right to say that we still haven't seen the best of him?
Well, I'd love to say that, but I think we probably have seen his absolute elite, which was. We probably missed the best part of his career, unfortunately, but that just happens, So I would say he's probably as good as he's going to get right now. He is at peak fitness. He's probably, the fact that he's won a couple in a row, confidence is probably up. And I'd say, if we can keep him happy and sound, and maybe he might find another level. And hopefully, we're hoping with the confidence he's probably got out of the last 2 runs, he might find the line a little bit better if we head back to Cannington if we do go that way. But, I don't know. He's run the 29.7s before, and I just don't know if he's got that anymore. I think he's probably a 30 dead run. But, if you're talking up to the 450, 460 metre mark, he's probably as good as anything going around. It's just got that really good early speed, second splits. So, that's where he probably sit.
How is the rest of the litter performing? Escapology has been pretty strong at Cannington as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's a super little bitch. She's just so consistent. The whole litter, to be honest, it was our first time we've ever bred, and the whole litter really, we didn't know what to really expect first up, and it's it's been a pleasant surprise, but at the same time we sort of we got told not to cut corners, and we just definitely didn't cut any corners when we bred. So we spent what we had to spend, and the dogs got the best of everything, and they've repaid that for sure. The whole litter, even last night, we had Exploded Ravioli come out and win again in the provincial, and Escapology, she wins the free-for-all. She's had a couple of wins in free-for-all, and I think actually at the moment, I think they're all country free-for-all dogs. So, to say, we're pretty lucky, to be completely honest with you. We had a bit of a tough week last week with we sort of put, it's funny on racing, you put 3 around the week before, you had 3 winners, and you put 3 last week, they run last. So that's just racing, isn't it?
It certainly is. Is there any more to come from future litters?
We've got a litter at the moment with their pre-training. They're probably not on the same level. Unfortunately, they're probably looking at country-graded dogs at the moment, but they're still only young. And then we've got a couple of litters coming through. I've got a litter of Tommy Shelby's, which we went thirds with Pete Brown and Mark Latham from the RCR guys. And we've got a dog and a bitch each out of that litter, and they look super. But look, pups are pups, aren't they? Everyone says they've got the best pups going around until they hit the track. So we've got some Mapunga Blazers, which we had to send over east. And Linda's got 4 of them down at her place as well. So they're just 12 months, and they'll start breaking in soon. So who knows what we've got there? But they're out of a 600-metre bitch. So with any luck, we might see some 500-metre dogs out of them. But probably see how we go in the next 6 months, and that'll determine what we do in the next 2 years, I suppose.
You mentioned, Simon, your mum she moved and she did train for a little bit, didn't she, up in York? And she might have even tried to...
What happened was we knew we had litters coming home, and when they were in Lower Chittering, we weren't able to keep any more than 6, which we knew at the time. So Mum sort of thought, well, let's sell up and move to a place where we can have a few more dogs. And, I think what happened was we got a bit of a misinformation, I guess, at the time, and it's sort of 12 months after we were there, we just got told we literally couldn't have any more than 2 dogs in that location just because of the zoning. So pretty much had to uproot everything and move the dogs. But to be completely honest, it's probably been a blessing because the dogs have gone better since we've been here, and I think it's just the travel factor. They're not having to travel so far, and I think that's really working in their favour. I think most of them have actually run a PB since moving to the new kennel, so we're not complaining. It's sort of been a bit of a blessing.
And has your mum purchased the property in Southern River, or is she renting? And what property are you on?
No, we're just renting from Greg Martin. So we're just renting the kennels there, and and sort of we're just having to do what we have got to do. We said we'd commit to doing the dogs for 2 more years, and then Mum might take off travelling and do a bit of travel around Australia. But at the moment, we're just get through the next 2 litters and see what we've got, and then I guess, I don't know, Mum really loves the dogs. It's a hard one because we had a dog drop a back muscle, but he's probably the best kennel dog. So most people would probably rehome him. We've just got him, keeping him because he's just a beautiful dog. So it's one of those games where you just sort of get attached to the dogs and you just can't seem to get rid of them. They're just beautiful animals.
And there's been some champions that have come out of that kennel that Greg Martin's had. So let's hope that Firecloud can continue on. There's some big prize money in Western Australia over this next 6 months. And your mum's done a wonderful job with him and the other members of the litter. So let's hope they can continue on and there's more success for you just around the corner. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Cheers, Leah. Thank you.
Good on you. Simon Marsaglia joining us, Leah, and Colleen's done a wonderful job to be able to get Firecloud back to the track, and for him to win the Nambulla Cup was remarkable. So well done to all concerned. He's won close to $70,000 in stake money. It's Melbourne Cup Eve, which means it's the Hume Cup Heats and also the Silver Bullet, and Jason Lincoln is about to join us online. Jason, good morning.
Morning, Pete. Leah, interesting setup you've got here at the moment, Pete. You're having a few issues paying the bills. Taylor had to send me a message. I had to ring in here today. So I don't know how I'm going to be reimbursed for the cost of this call, Pete, but this is astonishing.
Okay, well, we'll make sure we do. We'll make sure we cover it. You know what we're like. We're always good for 50 cents. What did you make of the Silver Bullet tonight at the Meadows, and also the heats of the Hume Cup?
Look, they're decent enough races for sure. The Hume Cup's it's a bit of a unicorn, isn't it, on the Australian calendar, Pete? It's a 600-metre Group 1. We've got one other invitation, 600-metre Group 1, the Rookie Rebel, but this one stands alone. So, it's always an interesting race, and being run Cup Eve as well, Pete, there's always a certain little excitement in the air, isn't there? It's a bit like Christmas Eve with Christmas Day tomorrow. So, always a good night of punting.
Jason, we've got the Top Gun coming up this week. Will the box draw be up tomorrow?
They're doing that tonight at the Meadows, Leah. So, to all you people who have got social media, that you'll know it well before I do. But just stick close to your phone there tonight. The Meadows Twitter handle, I suspect, will send that out. But I'm not sure whether they're streaming it live, Leah. You maybe need to just jump on their Facebook page and have a look. But that'll be done tonight.
All right, wonderful. I do think most of the time they have the Meadows Facebook page live streaming the box draws. Yep. We do have the Top Gun Market, pre-box draw. Wow, She's Fast, currently $2.60 with Tab Touch. French Martini at $5. Amron Boy, second reserve at $6. Obviously I'm not better yet. Zippy Tesla, $7. McInerney Zipping Curios, $9, and then double figures upwards the rest with our WA Star Vice Group at $12. What are your thoughts?
It's a good market to bet into. I mean, obviously it's pre-draw, so you're assuming some of the risk, but that's why you're getting a padded out price with some of those dogs. Look, first and foremost, I think Vice Group's an astonishing price. I think if he draws anywhere to the inside, sort of 1-2, and if it just in an ideal world, he happened to draw 1 or 2 with McInerney, a very wide runner drawn outside of him. He'd probably be second pick. So I think the $12 is a great price about him. I don't think Wowshi's fast, probably likely to start shorter as well. I mean, just looking at that market, Amron Boy's the third fab, but he's the second reserve. So he's priced up as though he'll come into the race and get a good draw. But once he comes out, then, people are going to obviously have to divert their eyes elsewhere and think about how they're going to attack the race. And, as I said, I would expect the favourite will shorten. I would expect Vice-Grip to shorten, and possibly maybe that's it, pre-box draw. But, it's an interesting little market. I put my money where my mouth is with Vice-Grip. I've had something post the field being selected on him, just at an each-way price, thinking that he was value.
Is Bell value at $17 in the Stayers? Super Estrella's at $1.70 and Pungaruby at $4.80 with Tab Touch. And Zarbel was a huge run in the national final, and I know there's been a slight hiccup, but he was impressive winning when he returned to Cannington a couple of weeks ago. I guess the little hang-up is going to be, irrespective of whether he trials or he has a walk around or a look around, he's going to go in there first start under race conditions in, what is a hand-picked field. So it's deeper races we can sort of put together, as much as the staying rank's pretty ordinary in Australia at the moment. Look, I wouldn't say he's not a winning chance. It all sort of revolves around Super Estrella, doesn't it? If she takes her Sydney form, she'll win. But if we revert back to her previous interstate form, then she's heinously under the odds. And I can understand why plenty of Victorians will want to take her on, because they've seen her down there plenty of times in the past, Pete, and she just hasn't been up to them. As I said, there's no depth at the moment, and she stands head and shoulders above the next best dog. That's with Mapunga Ruby aside. We haven't seen her for 6 months, Pedro, and we know if she's up and going that she's certainly as good, if not even better than Estrella. So, there's a few question marks, aren't there? There certainly is. Just back to the Top Gun final, and obviously the box draw is going to be very, very important. And you and I were both on the panel, and I did push up for Throttle. I know you put me back in my place, and while Throttle didn't get in, I think he's...
Hang on, because I can't have you spreading these aspersions about me, Pete. Tell the truth, and I'll answer your question for you.
Yeah, no, you were pushing for Throttle as well. You're a high opinion of Throttle, and unfortunately he didn't get in. But he's a greyhound, in my opinion, that would be a great... I know he doesn't have that early speed, but in my opinion, he would be a perfect greyhound for the Phoenix, as would Vice-Grip. How do they get into the Phoenix, and do you think that one of the slot holders will approach them? There's already 2 slots that have gone.
Look, being really, really honest, and being a part of the selection last year, obviously, for Tab, and this year again, and just sort of knowing the way the mindset and everything works with these things, I would think that he's probably going to be battling unless he can do something astronomical in the next couple of weeks, Pete, just because he's not as well exposed over here as he is over there. And obviously with you guys not having a slot over there this year, that's going to place him in a bit of difficulty, because Vice-Grip's the one with the reputation over here, and he's going into the Top Gun, and he can further enhance his reputation, whereas Throttle can't really do that. Not here in any case, unless Robertson sent him over for a couple of looks around. Look, going back to the selection process, in the end, as much as I did support your push for him, Pete, and he was originally in my final field, once he got beat in the All-Stars, it did make it hard to push him forward in front of a couple of other dogs in the race. However, I sort of revert back to the age-old thing, and we've discussed it 1,000 times. I think you want to be picking the race that you want to see, personally, and the race that the greyhound fans want to see. Not pick the field because, so-and-so won a good race 6 months ago and that sort of thing. I think the field would be better for having Throttle in it, but I can understand why he wasn't put in there. Just one little thing going back to what you said about the Phoenix. The one little hang-up with him, Pete, as fast as he is, the one track in Australia that you would say is not designed to be his bag is the Meadows, just because it's such a front-runner's track.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Jason. I'm just having a look at the Phoenix market here with Tab Touch, and Vice-Grip's not on the market, but we've got Throttle here at $15, one of the only, if not the only, well, one of the only WA dogs, amplified at 101, but Throttle at $15.
Look, and again, and look, this is not me bagging traders, but you could pull out you could pull up Melbourne Cup markets, you could pull up 1,000 pre-post markets with the greyhounds, and they're not. Again, I'm not bagging the traders here, but they're not great markets. I mean, as if I shouldn't be in that market. I mean, he's in the Top Gun, so how could he not be in the betting to a feeding?
Yeah.
So that's just, they don't have their eyes on the prize, simple as that. Now, as I said, I'm not bagging them. They might have more important things to do, but that's just an oversight.
And it also goes to show that a lot of people don't watch WA Greyhound Racing, which is what we discussed in the Top Gun, not going back to that again. Who do you like in the Hume Cup tonight? Is there a greyhound that we can make some money on leading into the Melbourne Cup tomorrow?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I haven't crunched right down on it yet. I mean, I've had a little bit of a, I've obviously run the eye over it and, formulated some sort of opinion, but as I said, I haven't really gone in and crunched any numbers. I wouldn't sit here and declare one to you, put it that way. But look, off the top of my head, there's a dog in the series called Dookie Devil. Jason Adams put him forward on the pen, I reckon, about 6 weeks ago when we went through it, just as a bit of an aside. There's a bit of a change in the guard. Who are the new exciting dogs on the scene? Who do you think will be one of the stars in the future? And Patch put Dookie Devil forward, and at that stage he would have been a relatively unknown dog. Since then he's run sub 34 at San a couple of times. He trialled at the Meadows the other day. This won't be in anyone's race book, so if you're listening to this program, here's a little bit of good oil for you. But he trialled at the Meadows the other day, 29.59. I think he went on his own peak. So, I mean, he wouldn't have been out of place in the Top Gun with a solo effort like that. Put that into context. I think French Martini went 29.70 on there recently. So he's a very, very fast dog. He doesn't have a particularly great draw tonight, but he could be the one that just cuts its way through the series.
All right, looking forward to that tonight. Looking forward to a wonderful week and lead up to the Top Gun, the box draw taking place at the Meadows tonight. So that'll be on the social media platforms. And make sure you take a photo of, what do you call it, a photo shot of your...
Screenshot?
Screenshot of your phone call this morning and how long you're on the line for, and we'll make sure that we refund you.
If you could. Do I have to put in an invoice or anything like that, Peter, or you'll sort that for me?
No, if you can put an invoice with your ABN as well, that'd be great. We need that.
Yeah, okay, no worries at all. That'd be great. I look forward to receiving that 65 cents back in about 6 weeks' time.
Good on you. Have a good day. Jason Lincoln joining us, and he is a good follower of racing, not only in around Australia, but especially here in Western Australia. And he does give a good push for our WA Greyhounds, not only on the catching pen, but in the meeting that we had recently on the Top Gun panel as well. So we do appreciate his time this morning. Leah, you take care of yourself, and looking forward to race day today, and then, of course, Melbourne Cup Day tomorrow. It's the race that stops the nation, and hopefully you and I can find a winner, and hopefully your dad's horse can win tomorrow, Amelia's Jewel. She's exciting as well. She goes around there at Ascot, so the early start to Mandurah tomorrow, you'll be able to keep an eye on her on Sky Racing.
Yes, we're very much looking forward to Amelia's Jewel racing in the feature event. Thanks, Pete, and we'll be joining you at about 12:30 for a preview of the Northern Card.
Have a good day.